Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Queef. Thank you so much for joining me. Please follow us at Battle Rap Resume. Please go on to patreon.com/Battle Rap Resume. There is exclusive monthly episodes that will only ever be on Patreon. Maybe in the future they'll be released on YouTube and you'll be angry at me for going against my word. But at least when this episode comes out, they're only going to be released on YouTube. Previews of episodes as well, exclusive content. If you want to help the show, if you want to help donate to the show, you know, we recently reached our total of $150 that I kind of, you know, translated to a lot less than I thought it was going to be, but nonetheless it got me a new microphone. If you listen to this, you might notice that the early episodes had quite bad audio in comparison. I just want to say thank you to everyone donating. As you see, the money has gone straight back into the show. Please also subscribe if you're listening on iTunes, listening on any podcast format. If you're listening on YouTube, go onto the YouTube channel, go back through the archives, go onto redbubble.com, pick up a t-shirt. You too can be as cool as Max Sherry. You can also get mouse mats on there and an iPhone covers and stickers, and the stickers are actually really good. As I've said before, they're really cool. One is currently adorning my laptop, and I forced it upon a friend as well. So buy a sticker, make the third one out there in the world. That would be really, really good. But yeah, today we have yet another thing that you know, a good friend of the show has came to me with an idea, and I wanted to get on board. Jeozif, who you know I had doing top 5 shuffle and Marlowe rounds. Please go listen to that. But Joe, good to have you back on the show, man.
Howdy.
Indeed. What an intro. And we were just saying briefly off air, like, one of the unique things about battle rap, I mean, you can kind of apply it to other things in life. We're talking about the tryout here, I should say. This is an episode dedicated to the best tryouts, an idea that Joe brought to me that I thought was a great idea worth examining. But you can kind of compare it to culture, can't you? Like, for instance, Soundgarden are one of my favourite bands, the kind of 90s grunge quartet, and I only really know their kind of middle later era, and I just went back and listened to their first EP the other day, which is effectively their tryout in a certain sense. You get to see them, you know, when they're in the womb, when they were fully formed, and it's quite exciting, isn't it, to kind of have a favourite battler, or even a battler you don't even like that much, and just to go back and see what their first steps, so to speak, were.
Yeah, it's always nice there's always something interesting to see in a tryout. There's always especially like comparing them to how they are at the present moment as well, especially with the ones that develop, like, increase in popularity slowly, to see how that happened and what's different between their later stuff and their earlier stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, crucially today, we could do a flip side of this episode maybe in the future, worst tryouts ever, but
there'd be a lot of them. Yeah. Too many to fit in.
Shit. We shout a soliloquy, but no, we wanted to, damn you, Turner, but no, we wanted to do best, you know, the best tryouts, and we've sport for choice here. We've got loads of fantastic stuff here, and it is always exciting, as you say, to go back to see the kind of hints of what someone will become. And I think a lot of these tryouts do suggest that some of the people are pretty much fully formed. You know, some of them definitely show tendencies towards them become. Some of them have a kind of 180, but I think all of them share the common thing of being very entertaining, being very watchable, being very stimulating, and, you know, having that feeling that when you watch them, fuck, this is a tryout, like this is their first battle sort of thing. And we won't waste no time. We'll get into our first tryout now, Joe. And this is I think if you ask a lot of people, you know, the best ever don't flop tryouts, Enigma versus Tongue Twister will be one that's ironically on the tip of their tongue.
And how are you gonna act mean and be hard when you have the same name as a genius retard who prances around in a green leotard? And if I'm honest, I ain't got a Scooby what this guy's rhyming about. But judging by the fact that your eyes are so round and the size of your brow and the saliva at the side of your mouth, I wouldn't be surprised if they found that you slightly had downs.
Sent me a link to your Cockney rhyming slang video. I figured I'd give it a try. Listen with an open mind, cause I'm a considerate guy. But I've never heard so much fucking shit in my life. The lyrics are dry. You should give up, commit suicide. I was so pissed at the minutes of time I missed from my life trying to listen to your ridiculous shite that I went home, kicked my ex-wife, picked up a knife, stabbed my fucking kids in the eye just so no one else, my family would have to witness you rhyme.
Yeah, it's got quite a lot of views as well for a tryout.
It's like 77k, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty massive. And that, of course, that was back when they were on the main channel, but still, it's pretty big. Because if you've got no momentum whatsoever, a lot of the people nowadays are trying out in other leagues and then coming into Don't Flop when they're somewhat comfortable enough. Yeah. Or maybe that I don't really follow many other leagues, so that might not be the case. But with no momentum behind you, it's difficult to pick up views like that. So Enigma and Mr. Tongue Twister showing how entertaining that battle was on its own to get that many views.
Yeah, completely. This was part of the first quarter tryouts. This really was when Don't Flop was getting massive. You know, this is kind of a beautiful thing. This is actually the first battle of 2012. Himself says that. And I mean, he's so different in that sense because he seems happy.
He's so excited, isn't
he? He loves it.
I love watching these intros where he's really excited. Don't flop. Welcome back. That sort of thing. Like, he doesn't seem to do it as much anymore. But
no.
It instantly engages me if I'm watching a battle, and I was like, wow, like, he's blowing his own head off. Welcome to this upload. I'm excited.
Yeah, he's going mad. He's saying that they just got the beanies and he's not taking them off for a shower. Like, you know, it's great to see. And similar to the Bullingdon Club, the Cambridge Footlights, all these kind of, you know, these coteries, these collections where everyone went on to do great things kind of thing. You know, the Daily Show, I guess, for example, you know, they've all gone on to have their own stuff. Like, this was the mode. This was the day. You know, not only did we have Enigma versus Tongue Twister, we have C Major debuted at this event going against Young Mace. Young Mace, who weirdly, he's from Birmingham like myself, who weirdly, Danny O'Gorman, good friend of the show, designed the Battle Rap Resume logo. He went to primary school with Young Mace. They you know, they parted ways in year 6, as is wont at most primary schools, didn't chat anywhere. Me and Danny were watching battles one day, and Danny was like, I know Young Mace. Like, you know what I mean? I remember him from trading Pokemon cards with him or whatever, you know what I mean? And turns out it was him. We also had Impact versus Callum Boom, which is a kind of weird tryout there, but I haven't. It's mad that, mad that they tried out against each other. Lefty versus Orcs as well was another good pairing. Rogue, Bamalam, Ogmios, Eek, Toucan, Big J. It's like, god damn, like, you know, the talent was there.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there were many tryouts that day that didn't go on to pop.
No. And as we say, is absolutely beaming. And I think one of the defining things about this tryout really is Enigma is Enigma and Tongue Twister is Tongue Twister. They aren't really that different from who they are today, are they?
Yeah, it's great to... Obviously, Enigma has some shock value stuff, but it's not as, like, piercingly... memorably horrendous as it goes on to be, but you can tell that he's going to do more of it in his upcoming battles at this point.
I mean Tongue Twister, great to see him. He kind of posits the sort of Enigma, Edward Nigma, you know, riddle me this, Batty Man. We sort of get you going in there, and you know, you've got to go with the obvious name flips, because it's the first time anyone's battled Enigma. How he was allowed into tryouts, now that's an enigma. So, I mean, yeah, you're right.
That is the cheesiest way to use someone's name.
Yeah.
It's just with no extra wordplay within that. There's no scheme. It's just, now that's what I call an enigma.
And it's great to see Fiddler's Elbow as well, obviously the erstwhile venue. There's so many people there, like, you know, it's really ram-packed and the atmosphere is just fantastic.
That's probably one of the reasons why all these styles went on to have so many more battles, because if every battle seems amazing because of crowd reaction, you're going to associate those battlers with good crowd reaction.
True.
And then continually want to watch them.
And like you say, Enigma's slightly shocking style. I think you know, there was this kind of horrific sexual element. I mean, there still is in battle rap, but kind of, you know, oh fuck your mum gruesomely, whatever. We lived in a post Eddie P. Frisco world by this point. But I think still him talking about kicking his ex-wife, stabbing his kids in the eyes because he was so sick of Twister's mixtape. I was just like,
why didn't you stab Twister in the eye?
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been more productive.
They even heard it. Like. But yeah, it was. I mean, that is Enigma's style, and he gets it off quite well, and I think it is quite refreshing as well. Tongue Twister's maybe a bit more of a throwback, Enigma a bit more groundbreaking, and interesting that Tongue Twister mentioned in the second that Enigma had collabed with Sam Pepper. You know, not the first kind of minor Big Brother celebrity to grace those fiddler halls, but you know, and it's
Grace.
Yeah, Grace. Well, shame. I don't know. Jesus Christ, Anton.
Bless us with their presence.
Anton versus Icy. If you've seen Anton versus Shuffle and you want to see more of Anton, just check out Icy, man. He's such an arsehole in that battle. It's amazing. It's the least sportsmanship. It's quite incredible. But I mean, you know, this battle was so good, Joe, that they actually, I don't know if you remember, they came back a year later to like rematch.
Yeah, I remember after that as well. People were suggesting battles for an upcoming card, and Tongue Twister suggested me versus Enigma for the decider. That seemed quite funny at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the second one was as good, if not better. I think it got a few more views, if I'm not mistaken. And that was in Ginglik.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that great venue. We had like Cracker Old English and Archaic Yunnan and stuff like that. And yeah, that I need to rewatch that one. I haven't seen those. But yeah, this is one of those ones where, you know, if you weren't told that it was a tryout, you just think these guys have been battling for a couple of years. Like, you know, and this was just a kind of something on the card, maybe almost a headliner above the tryouts, as Training Days is one to do now. It's very, very impressive by both of them, and I mean, just a great pairing as well. Like, you know, they're both so competent. It wasn't that classic dichotomy of a tryout where one guy slightly outbalances the other. It was like they were just giving each other, you know. It was strong, and that was a really good watch. And one of the ones that you suggested when we were going through, we kind of initially came up with our own kind of tryout, favourite tryouts, and kind of put the list together and came up with a definitive top 10. Very happy that you mentioned Mr. Take Note.
Now, I didn't come all the way down from Manny to London to battle and go back and forth with this dumb nerd. Nah, nigga, I only came down from Manny to London to stand here and talk that shit about how that gun works. See, between you and me, big difference. I got a dirty Glock. Nigga, that's a Reebok that hardly works. But I keep rolling with that Limp Biscuit. See, when we got scheduled to battle, I thought, if he comes and tries to ball, he'll get bagged and then his dick's finished. Cause I bang that hammer and I can take his wig off. Nigga, that's a judge when his shift's finished.
Do you know what? When his tryout first came out, I was one of those guys commenting, well, he should go back to the URL. His style doesn't belong. I was one of these kids because this was like 2 or 3 years ago, back when I just started watching at some point, I think, and I really wasn't liking the gun bars. I still don't really, but I mean, now I can appreciate Tox as well, especially with his sportsmanship against Gemini. But anyway, he was. His confidence completely filled the entire room, and in terms of his content, obviously he's sort of known as not being the most technical or whatever, but when you have that much confidence, especially in your tryout, you don't really need to have amazing writing, because a tryout is obviously all about potential, because you don't need to completely body bag your opponent. You just need to sort of show people that you can battle and that you're not rubbish, you're not the generic tryout, in order to get another one. And he certainly did that. Who was it against, actually? Was it against someone who was okay? Or?
It was against,
it was Future, wasn't it?
It was against Future, who is someone that I'm a huge fan of, personally. It was a great shame that he didn't show out in this, but obviously Future was Words of Weapons, born and bred, you know. I actually I've seen Future live a few times. I saw him battle FOS. I think he's one of the best on Words of Weapons. I really hope Keep It 140, get him down. Him versus Vigilant, incredible title match as well. Battled Raptor. That was one of Raptor's breakout performances, no doubt. Don't Flop saw Future, you know, proviso through that. It's funny you mention your comments, Joe, because obviously your sort of moniker that you adopt online is the fridge. That's kind of your avatar, as it were. And I noticed a comment by a fridge, actually, and it kind of mimics what you're saying. The comment says, this is written 2 years ago, someone needs to tell Take Note Tox that he's battling in Don't Flop, an English battle league based in England, where people speak primarily the English version of English. He should give his name and his style back to the UL rapper he stole it from. Damn!
That was me. I'm not
Talk
joking.
that shit.
I really shouldn't. I don't know whether to cringe or not.
Well, I mean, you got to own it, man. You know, like I say, soliloquy. We've all had bad moments in our past, but I mean, nonetheless, I think it was Shocks. Actually, I think Shocks battled at this event. Maybe he battled
Smart Alex?
Smart Alex. Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, he battled Smart Alex there. And I think he saw, we were talking about this battle for some reason. I think it was on our episode. And he mentioned the same bar that I think most people think about, the whole bang the hammer and take his wig off like a judge when his shift's finished. It's like, it's hard. And it's great in the back. You can see Bard just nodding really heavy. And it's just like, heavy. Flawless is his hype man there. I mean, a lot of people point out in the comments as well that Willsy's in the front. Willsy, who's a judge. But Willsy, who's just like vibing off Tox's bars. Like, it's so biased and blatant. But it's great.
Yeah, then they go on to battle each other and get really personal.
Yeah. And Raise the Cannon spray, Flawless is there, no fragrance, you know, it's... and Future does have a nice flow, it's just, he's clearly kind of playing to a beat, and he goes into some excellent rhythms, and you can tell Er's really vibing with it, and it's good stuff, but like you say, Tox, he just has that kind of, you know, Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross, that major personality that fills the room, and... Excuse me, I'm getting my breath's being taken away by memories of Tox, like, you know. But no,
it's magical.
Yeah, he was. Jesus Christ. But no, he distinct as hell. And I think that URL comparison is quite obvious to make, definitely. And kind of almost, even when he delivers his first bars, he like turns his back to Future and kind of like, you know, looks over his shoulder and stuff. Like, the choreography's fantastic. And there's still some good lines, you know, in his face with these lines. He changed my name to Botox. Yeah, I did.
I suppose that there aren't that many ways of flipping Tox.
No, there aren't actually. No,
Botox is quite observant.
Yeah, It is not as good. Shoot like Spielberg at these nerds. Yeah.
that is a multi right there.
Yeah, I mean,
that's going straight in Shuffle T's book.
But yeah, I mean, Tox again. I think a great addition, you know, and one of those people who's gone on. Mentioned this when I had Jem on, and Tox as well. Like, he just has big stage battles, apart from Future, and I think he battled Pedro at Beat Fighter, but that was kind of demo battles. But like, you know what I mean? And it's testament to his personality. It really reverberates in those sort of atmospheres. Yeah,
his second battle was at the Ritz.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. Maybe it was because of like other people cancelling or whatever. But I mean, he definitely showed in that battle that he deserved to be there. It was really impressive to see.
Yeah, it was. Tox showed out, and it's awesome to think. You know, again, we're talking about tryouts and how it shows you the early days and stuff. You know what? But 2 years later, next in line would be going down, and he'd be battling Jem there at the very same stage. And was he standing on the? No, he was standing on the right, and Future was on the right. Not that really matters. I don't know why that's important, but still, you know,
he was battling his past self.
Yeah,
that's why it was the other.
It's like a Mario Kart where you're like racing the ghost. It's like Tox was just there spitting gun bars. Yeah, we push on, and inevitably, a lot of these battles that we're going to go through take place in Fiddlers. It's our very own bunker, as we say, or bunker is their Fiddlers or whatever. But another tryout similar to Tongue Twister and Enigma Joe that is really strong from both sides. This was Heretic versus Kid Verbal.
But for a sec, let's forget about verbal abuse and address how well your epithet is serving its use. Kid Verbal, it's all about your words and your youth, meaning you have a juvenile style in all the work you produce. See all the multis you spit a shit because you force them, words that don't fit that you still try and flip and twist in contortions. It's weak, but it means that I'll kill this kid with some caution, because your whole career is embryonic, so consider this an abortion. Say Heretic will get his melon split while I'm billing Zeus. Did you really think the kid would lose? I mean, the judges can pick and choose when the shit is viewed, but don't get the shit confused. A heretic is someone who holds religious views, and this is sacrificing him to a god. Cameras are on and the rapture's upon us is the headline in the Christian news. All he's done is lit the fuse, so I don't give a fuck if all of his teams are on his boat, cause I'm that typhoon that'll fly through and spin his cruise. You
don't often get tryouts that are really evenly matched like they were. I think the best tryouts are the ones where it's a complete body bag, or both of the guys are absolutely on point throughout the whole thing, and that was definitely the case with Heretic versus Kid Verbal.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of introducing them both as being both dope at spitting, and they kind of had a legacy of the music beforehand. You know, this is Heretic, that's about it. Heretic says. It's always interesting to see how they kind of introduce themselves. Kid Verbal just says his name. And, you know, Heretic, really polished. I think, you know, you see a lot of who he is today, really. Obviously just kind of furthered that persona, but that kind of slightly sarcastic, you know, ain't no love in the heart of he's sorry. Yeah, you know, he kind of, he's got that one black friend and he's standing in the background, like, you know, he's
that one bar is probably responsible for a lot of the momentum that he got after that.
That's true.
That's all you really need is one awesome quotable like that. And of course it had the, Danny Jack repeated it in a battle after that, and I think some other people did as well. It's a very easy way to get a lot of fame very quickly off a tryout, is to have a really good quotable, like one black friend standing in the background.
Yeah, no, that's true. And just really good stuff throughout. Obviously, we get very short rounds. This is at the time when Training Days was 2 rounds for the tryout. So, you know, not too much material. Kid Verbal, juvenile style in all the work you produce, embryonic career, consider this abortion. You know, it's really strong, you know, really, really strong. And Kid Verbal, who, someone in the comments, I was just reading the comments before we went live, someone referred to him as Yunnan on his period.
It's a bit odd.
Yeah, it's slightly odd. And you know, Kid Verbal, just, I mean, a slight bad element perhaps is the breathing. You know, he's kind of got that sort of thing, but God, the heavy flow and the aggression, you know what I mean? It's compelling.
Oh, yeah.
It's compelling to see him go at it, and he's in his hood and he's rocking the Hollister thing, which again, the Yunnan period thing, people get up on the comments, I'm not really sure, but you know, Heretic's someone who holds religious views, you know, he sacrificed him to a god and all this stuff. He ain't even semitone or even seen as a threat. You know, it's good stuff from him here. That's
probably the only has sacrificed this guy to me bar that someone has got away with in a tryout.
True.
Because, you know, in the Heretic vs. Soul Jitsu, he made fun of that. It's like, sent me this sacrificial lamb, consider me a lyrical hitman sort of thing.
Yeah, and just nice movement from him. He says that he's like the shark in the water, smelling meat in the flesh, and all this sort of stuff. And just, and Heretic obviously is quite, he's not necessarily the most aggressive, kind of, compromising sort of guy. And it's nice to see someone step to him a little bit. And, they are very much diametrically two sides of the coin, but really just, a great matchup by I think. I think he knew what he was doing here, and it showed results.
It did, yeah. The one thing that was interesting about Heretic is I think people only really do this in their tryouts because eventually they learn that there's just no point. When their opponent is rapping, the way they look at them and they'll sort of like deny things, and maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but I think Heretic was looking at him in the eye, trying to like face off his aggression sort of thing. There are obviously different ways to do that as people learn when they do more and more battles.
Yeah, and it's, again, we see the traces of Heretic clowning on people, which kind of, I guess, reached its apotheosis in the Preston Grimes scene, stuff against Bizzo. But we have him kind of touching out lines that Kid Verbal had said before. The more pussy than a cat flap line gets kind of rinsed. And like we have, Heretic's very conscious as well, very conscious guy. Neither of us has sprayed gats. Neither of us has suffered a fate under the current state of the wage gap. Not one of us should claim that, but only one of us can face that. Time. It's just like, Time. It's pretty deep. And I just love listening to fucking Kid Verbal. I just like seeing him go on, man. And it's like, he has the sort of clowning ability as well. Talking about Heretic, why is your video called Behind the Scenes when it's only got like 80 views and nobody's seen it? Nice sort of stuff there. And just a great tryout in the end. Another sort of one where I think, they got two awesome talents on their hands. I think. No. I was thinking, that Crafty tried out against Ambi at this one, but I think he tried out the next event, the Christmas card event. But, again, this was kind of indicative of that talent that was coming through. And, Heretic versus Kid Verbal, like, maybe, like, would that work as, like, an Enigma tongue twister if that had another rematch, or...?
Potentially. Heretic is... more highly regarded than Kid Verbal at the moment, but he's coming back. SRS won. Kid Verbal's coming back. That'll be good. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. I hope. I am going to be there. Yeah, so that's going to be awesome, man. I'm just going to. Oh man, it's Kid Verbal versus Kraft. Like that is going to be exceptional. And I think Lazy Ass Jack versus Crafty just got announced as well at the time I was recording that. So that's going to be another really, really exciting match. But we'll get to another tryout that everyone's seen this one. Joe, Lunacy.
Absolutely, yeah, the highest viewed tryout ever.
Your lab debut was wasted. Fame gave him his first L and that made him lazy. So now he's been sunned twice like Cat Slater's baby. Yo, your chav mum sells her ass for rock and your sister's her apprentice. Is that harsh or what? Does your yard smell like carp or cod? Because you live with a big fish and a little fish in a cardboard box.
Surely one of the only million-view tryouts.
Yeah,
maybe the only one. I don't know. Yeah, there must be, because even like Pat Stay's tryout, whatever, you know what I mean? They're not exactly highly viewed or something. But fun fact, we discussed this. Might discuss this on the Luna episode. Definitely discussed on the Bloodster episode that this wasn't in fact actually Luna's tryout. Similar to Frankie Fraser, who had like a second tryout and his first one was off cam. Luna did battle a guy called Fame. But for some reason, and I think originally he was supposed to battle Mickey rather than Bloodstro, if Mickey mentioned that as well. But Luna battled Fame. I'm not sure why that came out. I don't know if there's anything on Luna's side that came out. And I remember, like, years and years ago, tweeting out like a 5-second clip of like, oh my god, it's a Luna battle, no one see it. You know what I mean? It was kind of like this absolute like bootleg thing. And but yeah, I just what can you say really about this? Luna shows out for 3 rounds. He pretty much redefines the style of battle rap, the mum joke, bar heavy stuff that came before him. Did it in his image. It's impeccable.
He didn't need to do many more battles than this to be put on the Don't Flop Mount Rushmore sort of thing. It was so unique. It came at just the right time as well. Was it like mid 2011 or something? Mm-hmm. And it impressions of him as well. If someone does an impression of Lunacy, you know that it's Lunacy straight away from like the dragon of the words and sort of thing. Obviously, that's a bad impression, but his originality as well, his quotability. Mm-hmm. He's got so many quotables like Dog's Bed, Allahu Akbar, all these things. Mm-hmm. And like, because was it before Mark Grist that he came It was, wasn't it? He got big, and then Mark Grist got big at the end of the year.
Yeah. Because I think Luna battled Uno at the Mark Grist event, I think. So yeah, I think
right.
Mark Grist is just after. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Luna is forever going to be a Don't Flop legend. He could not come back ever again and still be regarded as one of the best of all time.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, definitely. And obviously, Bloodstroke tried his hardest, and gave a valiant performance. Bloodstroke was very young at the time. I think he was 17 at the time. So it was fair enough. He was showing out there. But yeah, I mean, this is probably the definitive Don't Flop tryout, really. I think Luna, there's no way anyone could have watched this and not thought, wow, this guy's going to be something huge. Like, this guy really understands how to deliver a punch, the whole Michael Jackson child harassment sort of thing, Grime Squad, imagination barrier, just like really kind of inventive, playful stuff that I wasn't necessarily watching battles at the time when this dropped, so I couldn't kind of appreciate the ecosphere that it entered. But you can tell even then that it was fresh. He was still kind of doing stuff that other people did, but it was just kind of maybe certain people getting a bit tired, a bit cliched, and Luna just kind of struck out here and really delivered. The Lunacy tryout is as I say, maybe the tryout. But that's not to say that there weren't other fantastic tryouts. And this is a great thing that we see. The Tongue Twister Enigma, the Heretic Kid Verbal, these tryouts where both people raise to the plate. And, another one, we get To The Test, what was that? Which one's this? Is that To The Test 10 Dialect versus Double L?
Yeah, To The Test 10.
Yeah, and again, and that was a huge crowd that they were showing out of in front of as well.
I think they must have been noticed for their music or something, because the opportunity to battle at that event is one of the best events that any staff member would say, To The Test 10 is absolute classic event.
Oh yeah,
you had Luna there, Blizzard was there, Mark Grist was there,
Soul
Mickey
versus
Werfus was there. Yeah. There were so many big battles and big battlers that happened at that event that you could get instant endorsement, because anyone knows, if you've got Blizzard saying, yeah, this guy's sick, that guy's going to be sick. And the way they're reacting to these bars that Double L and Dialect are delivering, and the crowd as well. And it must have been one of the first battles of the day as well, because it was a tryout. And such a brilliant way to start whichever day it was of battles, with so many classics coming after it as well.
Now this guy's 1 week challenger, and that's why I'm studying, trying to work out who the fuck is this Double L character. Because you see, after I hit him with one sweet damager, I'll show you lot how to make his mum come with one thumb and umpteen sandwiches. Thinking he's come here with a hard floor. You spit like you replaced your mouth with an arsehole. You see, the more he keeps on talking, it's making me sleep because he's boring. I'd say you're about as useful as Christopher Reeves or Stephen Hawking giving a speech or demonstration on people walking.
Now Don't Flop tried to test me, but this guy that tried to test me don't know the answer. I got this guy baffled. You would think he was trying to figure out a cure for cancer. This ain't the right place for you. Get in touch with Louis Spence. I'm sure he can make you a world-class dancer. And if that don't work out, I'm sure he's hiring a professional wanker. But seriously, bro, that's a realistic dream that you've actually got a chance at. No disrespect to Don't Flop, but it's as if they just went to Leeds, found the nearest black man. You're not playing gangster, bro.
I mean, unbelievable, really, and they both do really, really well. They, lots of kind of circa 2011, lots of your mother looks like your mother's pussy looks like a tub of gel, and sort of Dialect going in on that sort of hometown difference. The bit between the scrotum and the crack, he calls that the Midlands, which I personally take offence at, Dialect, but that's all good. I still love you, still kill it. And Double L with the, I love contextual bars, Joe. Double L referencing Gary Speed. The sadly departed Wales footballer, which was kind of going on at the time. Lots of fisting, lots of gay stuff in Double L's round. So black, you expect him to chant in Zulu, beg him not to use some voodoo. It gets some big reaction from both of them there, and it's one of those ones as well. I think this is is it the closet or the wardrobe or something in Leeds?
Yeah, the wardrobe.
Wardrobe, yeah, not the closet. Just all those gay references before. Yeah, the cupboard, the
drawer,
the pantry. We got bars in the pantry, but this was there's so many people there. like I said this about the Fiddler's Elbow, but it's proper bulging, isn't it? Like, it's kind of, you look at URL and Summer Madness 2 and maybe Blackout 2 and stuff like that. People point to these and King of the Dot respectively with URL, but I think this is one of those peaks where it was just perfect, wasn't it? It was just so bubbling, and great that these guys got to show off rather than in front of a drunken pub crowd at 2 a.m. that are just a really receptive, we love battle rap kind of crowd.
Yeah, I think this is something that I might be campaigning for on Viewpoint, is to bring 14 plus events back, because there were 14-year-olds at the event, and they are more likely to react than, maybe that's generalising a bit, but...
Oh, no, they're definitely more likely to brap.
Yeah, and wear snapbacks as well. And be wide-eyed and ready to jump and react as loudly as they can. I mean, you see them in, like, I think it might be the 5th birthday crowd as well, the distinction crowd. The amount of 14-year-olds with wide eyes and snapbacks, they make up a lot of the crowd.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I don't know why have Don't Flop shied away from that. Is that just because that demographic has shied away from Don't Flop, or I'm not really sure. But like, I get what you're saying. Like, there are a lot of young fans out there, aren't there? So just maybe they should capitalise that on a bit more. But yeah, I think Double L versus Dialect is crazy, and actually I'm going to have Double L on quite soon, so I have quite extensive notes written on this battle, and really cool to see all the judges. Mark Grist said that it wasn't even a debut in his mind. Like, he didn't even see it as that. Seuss, it was insanely good to hear. Mick said he wanted to see Double L versus Mickey, which I don't think went down, although Double L and Mickey did obviously team up versus Shufflo. Mickey says that all the tryouts are putting him to shame, basically. And, he just said he should have been promo in his eyes. There shouldn't have been a judge. Yunan was very impressed. Interesting that he will go on to battle Dialect soon after as well, so it's cool to kind of see those kind of crossing paths. And Zayn, all Zayn Azra can say is, damn! That's all he says. Eventually he says that Dialect edges it for him, but crazy. Dialect eventually takes it 4-1, but I think most people are kind of like, it's one of those things where Shocks... Did Shocks lose like 4-1 as well or something like that, or 5-2 or something against Tony? It's one of those ones where it just kind of, pushed out. And it's got 140,000 views, which is just crazy. And it's got 20 dislikes. Which is
how many likes?
Well, I think it's like 1%. 20 is like 1% of the likes.
Sorry, of course.
Yeah. It's got 1 like, but no, it's got yeah. It's just crazy. I mean, yeah, another brilliant tryout. And someone that you brought to the table, who I wouldn't necessarily have considered. Not that it wasn't a brilliant tryout. I watched it back and it definitely deserves to be there, but it just wasn't in the top of my mind. Ren DMC versus Method Monk.
Get that Final Destination tap death. Dive with your eyes wide open. I'll be in this girl's room with her legs wide open. If you heard the noise coming from the door, then wide open. I'll tell you the story. I was outside when she called up.
Then what?
She said, come inside because it's warm.
Then what?
Then I said hi to his daughter.
Then what?
They kicked all the toys in the corner.
Then what?
They kicked all the toys in the corner. Me and this girl went upstairs watching Pornhub. Then we had sex, it was all love. He was all vexed when he walked up. I was like, hi man, fetch me some water.
I love that battle so much. That's probably the tryout that I've rewatched the most.
Yeah.
It's so... I don't know what it is about Method Monk that it's so entertaining, but Ren DMC is just brilliant with the then what scheme. That is such a creative thing to do. Like the guy who said it as well, with his big smiley face, is a very funny piece of battle rap. Obviously, it's not one for the history books, and both of them. Well, because what's his name? Method Monk has changed his name to Ill Rollings, and now he's come back and he's gaining momentum again. But Ren DMC stopped shortly after that, which was a shame.
Does he not battle anymore?
No, I think he did about 4 or 5 battles. His last one was against Jay Dillon, I believe, at Sunburn 2.
Yeah, I think he battled Ambi as well for part of that project, that Bodied project. If you're aware of that in Brighton. But no, I agree. His last proper battle was that. That's a shame, really. And I don't know, I said this before, I'll say this again. Method Monk is a way better name than Ill Rollings. I don't know why he changed it. It's Ill Rollings is such a generic battle rap name, and I think Method Monk's just a bit more interesting.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, like what are you going to do? And Method Monk was great as well. It's kind of sad that he had to kind of go the Headhunters route because he's good. Like, he's just fun to watch. He's quite dynamic, isn't he? A little awkward with his race stuff. He does the KOTD scheme. Someone tell Organic, get this black out. It's like a little
ingenious.
bit. Yeah, a little bit far. And then he has a sort of, if God hadn't done it already, I'll give you a black eye and a fat lip. Like,
I don't think...
Yikes, Meth.
He probably didn't intend to use that as a style later on. He probably just wanted to make impressions in his first battle, which is fair enough. But there are better ways to do that. He could have done a then what scheme.
He could, so what do you love about Ren? Is it the then what?
Oh yeah. I just love the then what. It's such a, and the rhythm that he does it as well.
Yeah.
I think rhythm is the best way to instantly make a crowd like engage with you. There are so many really creative moments in battle rap history, like Uno against Lunacy in his second round. He does the clicking thing and the bowl sack thing as well. 100 Bullets versus Shuffle T when he does the that was such a cool moment. Like I really dislike 100 Bullets, but when he did that, I thought, wow, that's amazing. It's a really, really easy, maybe not easy, but a quick way to engage the entirety of the crowd into your stuff. And that's the only thing I really remember when I think back to it, because the rest of his material was not that great. He said something like, "You're like a toy gun, just fake with nothing in it," which is, that bar in itself has nothing in it, really. I mean, it was such a brilliant way to engage everyone. I'm repeating myself, but it was, that's what I remember from the tryout, and I still laugh out loud when watching it back.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Method Monk as well has some interesting stuff. Couldn't even the odds. I win when I lose. Constant variable, bro. I go to sleep smelling coffee. I was just like, damn, you play on my head there, Monk, like with your lines. Like, it was actually pretty good there. And obviously, Ren has the big laugh at the end by just saying to Method Monk, "You look like
Yeah, that always works quickly. When Pedro said Liv Winter looks like Yellow Wolf. That was excellent.
Doesn't who has that line again? Isn't it like Bruce C has that line against Zen, like your sister looks like or something like that? Any sort of bar always kicks off. It might have been the other way around there, but that is a really good battle, and I urge people listening to this, definitely go check that out on both sides. That is a really, really funny watch. I think it's got like 14-15k, so it definitely hasn't been got too much love, but it's definitely worth checking out. And finally, we get to an amazing tryout, and I kind of have a little bit more context to this tryout personally. This is obviously, of course, Marlowe.
See, I actually went to Peterborough because I had plans to torture this faggot. I was going to storm to his pad, make a corpse of his dad, take a sword to his abs, and then slaughter the maggot. But then I absorbed my surroundings. At dawn, I saw the canal adorned with the form of a strawberry cloud. I was more than astounded. I sent the missus a text. In 60 minutes or less, we were fish and chipping it next to the George and the Dragon. People have told me Peterborough was boring, but that is appalling and callous. The way the auburn leaves fall onto the town hall during the autumn is magic.
You know, myself and you, Joe, are clearly huge fans of both Marlowe and Shuffle T. Go check out our episode going through top 5 Marlowe and Shuffle T rounds. That was a really good chat, and those guys are always brilliant to pour over. But this is at Birmingham. Don't Flop are returning to Birmingham very soon for their North vs South event, which I will be present. Can't wait for that. But this was their last event, Birmingham, as it's ingeniously called. I think it was just when I was getting into Don't Flop. This is around the summer of 2012, so I wasn't really aware of events and stuff. I didn't actually go. Obviously, I'm hailing from Birmingham, so I'd try and get any event there. But there were 2 tryouts at this Birmingham event. The first tryout was Marlowe versus Josh Fox, which, by all accounts, on both sides is brilliant. We'll soon get into that. The second tryout was Murta versus Sordid QC, a tryout that I've watched a hell of a lot because I actually battled Murta on King of the Ronalds. So I went back and watched this, and oh god, it's a nightmare. Like, it's clearly like, love the Marlowe tryout and really wanted something from this tryout as well, but it's such a flat squib in comparison. I know we're trying to be going on about great tryouts here, so I should probably ditch this ship. But Marlowe versus Josh Fox, I mean, how great to see Marlowe was just great from day dot. Yeah, I mean, that third round, just phenomenal. The way, using one rhyme scheme for the whole thing is really impressive, like, regardless of the round length, and he does it so well with his facial expressions, and the way the leaves fall on the church roof in the autumn is magic, that sort of thing. Yeah. How historic is that shit? It's wonderful. The Peterborough round is absolutely brilliant. Josh Fox always makes me laugh because, he doesn't do mum jokes in his second. He does nan jokes.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just don't really, and he's like ravaged the whore with a savage force, and it's all that kind of stuff. But
calm down, mate.
Yeah, it's a little bit intense. But Marlowe is, we're talking about Luna, being a slightly breath of fresh air. Jesus Christ, Marlowe! Like no one had really done this before. Like we had the kind of posh stuff of Grist, but other than Shuffalo and Marlowe, like the problem is, like to do this posh stuff, you have to be completely gifted to do it. Like you know what I mean? You can't half-arse it. Like you've really got to put the power into it, and it's just amazing from Marlowe, and really just kind of he has a little bit of difficulty breathing at certain points, just because it can take a lot out of you, this style, what he's kind of putting forth. But really awesome stuff here, just terrific, and really makes me laugh in the judging. Agent and Double L both give it to 2-1 Marlowe. MA gives it to the posh white guy, which she kind of need to pause slightly, and MA himself calls the third round magical. Which is
fair enough.
Which is quite something, but nothing against Josh Fox. I think he had a few more battles actually, Josh. But obviously Marlowe was the one who catapulted to the bar fame.
Yeah, and quite rightly so.
No, definitely. This is Marlowe v J Fox. Don't know if everyone's called it J Fox before, but there you go. I'm premiering it. Maybe I'll have a comeback or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be an Enigma tongue twister where they bring this battle back, Marlowe versus Josh Fox. But still, really, really fun battle. And Joe, I mean, we've gone through quite a few tryouts. They're at sort of top 10, but are there any honourable mentions?
Yep. Soul.
Against Wee D.
Yeah, Soul against Wee D. The thing I liked about Soul's tryout is that not only did he stay humble, but he also spat ravenous flames.
What a line. What a line. And I think Eric Foreman said that line was low-key fire, which was just a beautiful double entendre from the R&B VA founder there. But that's a good battle. I think, if I remember correctly, Wee D, who just battled us yesterday as part of Don't Flop Scotland headlining a tryout event, he had a line against Soul where it's like, it's hard to think outside the box when your head fits perfectly in it, or something like that. Like it was quite a nice bar. And an odd affectation of that tryout, if I remember correctly as well, was the judges were standing there and they just filmed them in front of the battlers. It wasn't like they went back to the room, you know what I mean? It's just like literally the camera panned to maybe Respect BA was there were fewer people there, but yeah, Soul's not a bad shout actually.
I've got some more.
Yeah.
HK. This was an interesting one because with 2 words, his opener, he made the crowd go completely nuts for, it must have been like 10 to 20 seconds, which is so difficult to do. All he said was, "You bastard," in the accent. Yeah. Like the sort of Paul Chowdhury sort of accent. And he said, and then like after that, he was so bad that the crowd hated him, and then he became infamous in the league. I think he must be the quickest tryout to go from loved to hated, certainly that I've ever known. And obviously the forum was loving it. And then he came back and battled Soul Jitsu, and that was what it was. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about HK. It's always great fun to watch back the 2 battles that he did. But he's actually doing really well now. He's working for one of these big Facebook entertainment company things.
The Wall of Comedy, if that's right.
Yeah, that's right. And I think Rendy MC is as well. He's getting millions of views for some like parody or some sort of like clever editing video. They're doing really well for themselves.
That's good, man. Yeah. Anyone else you'd throw in tryout wise?
Liv Winter.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad shout. Yeah.
She had a very interesting style, just really condescending. She did have, of course, the monosyllabic rhyming couplets, but it was very entertaining the way she delivered all of the stuff for Pedro, and she sort of took an angle at Pedro that we have not seen. Obviously, Pedro's done 100,000 battles, and she brought something somewhat fresh to the battle, and that's on over 100,000 views now. That's a really good watch.
Yeah, I guess to tie into the Liv Winter, I would say Crafty. Had a really good tryout.
Absolutely.
You know, brilliant stuff there. Lots of great name flips against Ambi. Ambi was very good as well in it, actually. Ambi Stewart, Civil War, taking off a Stewart's head. Had to mouse hunt for clues and riddles, but I'll still make Stewart little. And I think Crafty had a lot of good stuff there. Who else had some good tryouts? See, you try and think. Actually, you know, Pamphlet. He didn't have a don't flop tryout though. He tried out in some Dutch league, I believe, against Ahab, who would later come over to Don't Flop. I thought Pamphlet was very accomplished there. Not Definition. He had quite a bad tryout. I'm just kind of, yeah, he did. Oh, who did he face? Did he face Pseudonym? Maybe. I'm just thinking back on previous episodes that I've gone through and tryouts that have sort of stood out of people. Sue Surf. I just want to drop in the mention I had Sue Surf on the show. Remember that episode, everyone? That was crazy, wasn't it? Who did he face against? Oh, I can't remember the guy's name now. But yeah, who else is there back in the day? I mean, please comment. I should say comment in the the box below. Soliloquy, yeah. Oh my god, my try against Nader was crazy. Yeah, so many sex and jizz jokes. I don't know why I was going down that round, but I did there. Alchemy, as you mentioned, kind of prior had a really good try against Heavy D, but we kind of glossed over that, I suppose, to a certain extent. Shocks, I thought Shocks had a good try against Smart Alex.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought really showed what he was about there and kind of delivered quite strongly. Most Prop, actually, and Mark Grist, it's a little bit amateurish, but it's quite watchable. It's quite funny.
Yeah, it's a good piece of history to see them both against each other back then.
No, most definitely. Harry Baker against Double L. That was quite a fun one. That was very much Harry in front of his home crowd, because obviously it's at the Edinburgh Fringe sort of thing, and they were hanging off his every pun. But nonetheless, he did well. Juan against GW.
Yeah, Juan was good. Yeah. He debuted the "Please leave the premises" line in his tryout, I think. And there was a good contrast as well, because his opponent was one of these 1,000 words per second sort of rappers.
He was.
And then he came in with the slow, condescending material.
Yeah, he has, I think he was called GWE, although the amount of rappers with that sort of name, he could be called EGG, you know what I mean? I mean, who knows? But he had GWE looks just like Nicholas Lyndhurst, and I defy anyone to go back and watch it and say he doesn't. He looks just like Nicholas Lyndhurst. But yeah, there's been tons and tons of great tryouts out there. Just I mean, with sport for choice really on Don't Flop, it's been a terrific thing. But those are our top 10. And I guess, Joe, let's just wrap up by, last time we spoke, you had your King of the Dot Don't Flop history video. Is that right?
That's right, yep. I've been working on something else that I'm very excited about, a compilation of the best reactions. And there are quite a lot of them as well. I mean, people have been requesting that definition flip. Would you read the albino? I've got that in there. That's that's right at the end, because it's the reaction of all reactions. It is, yeah. I've got loads and loads of other ones as well. I think I'm going to try and make it about 10 minutes long.
Oh, good.
And then eventually it will come out. I'll post it on the forum.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. And I mean, how do people find that channel-wise? Where should they be subscribing?
Search for I Am Literally the Fridge. That's what my channel is called now. There's a long story behind that. Search for I Am Literally the Fridge on YouTube.
I Am Literally the Fridge. All right. And definitely I should urge people as well to check out the King of the Dot Don't Flop history video that you did as well. It was very, very entertaining, very absurd, and just an intriguing watch. But Joe, I'm sure I'll have you back on the show sometime soon. But thank you so much, man, for joining me. This has been great.
Pleasure's all mine, man. Thanks.